Yeah, well, that's you have to work hard for it, and it's right. It's right that you work hard for it, and I think every night when I come off stage and I'm wiping myself with a towel, all the sweat shows how hard you've worked, and you should be proud of that. That you still got it, you still got the energy, you still can. I knew from the age of 13 that I was going to be either a musician or an actor. I knew I was going to be in the entertainment industry anyway, and it tend to lead towards music, influenced by the kind of music what I was listening to at the time, which was a mix really. At first, we started off with the calypso, what our parents, brought over with them from the Caribbean. Then we started hearing reggae and Rasta music, which is very cultural and very rootsy and educational in its own way, teaching us about black history and stuff like that. And then I got introduced to punk. I was like, wow, what's this? This is great. This is, different. And the reggae merging with punk music happened to come together, I think, because around that time, around 77, 78, there were lots of Rock Against Racism concerts. And in Digbeth Civic Hall, basically all the punk bands, the reggae bands used to play there. That was the local gig. And they always started off with a punk band and ended up with a reggae band kind of thing. They had a few of those, and they got bigger and bigger and bigger, and better. People like Steel Pulse, UB40. My band, I was in a punk band called the Dum Dum Boys. We did a couple of Rock Against Racism gigs. The first gig we ever did headlining was where I met up with The Beat, because they called us up and said they wanted to open up for us. And we says, yeah, come to our rehearsals, play some tunes. And when I first met them, to me, I thought they were all aliens. There was something weird about all of them, and I thought, but there was something magical about it as well. Once all the instruments played together, the jam started, and what The Beat were a jam with an organised jam, if you like, and really good at it. They came and played some tunes, and we thought, whoa, that sounds really good. If you're any good, we said, you can open up for us, and they were really good, so we had to let them open up for us and blow us off stage. But that it was inevitable then. I was destined to be in that band. We were playing in front of a punk crowd, and The Beat were opening up for my band, the Dum Dum Boys, and I got pushed onto the stage by my punk mates, and so I had to grab the mic and do my first 8 or 16 bars, and that was the start of it. Then I got to know the guys, we got really friendly with each other. The fans just slapped onto it, and so did the band. They loved having me around. I was because I was cheeky, I was still 16, just left school, naive. Everywhere The Beat played from the beginning, we went down really well, so we knew we were good. And so that was one thing. But when we went on tour with the Selector for the first time, that was the real test, because now you're up against a band. You're opening up for a band who've got a tune that's top 10 in the charts at the moment, and they're going around the country, and you're their opening act, and it's the first time you're going to get to the masses. Then at the end of that, we got the 2-tone deal. So all these things happened so quickly, and over within 8 months of me joining the band, I was on top of the pops. And I know it takes years to get to that stage. It takes years and years, and I was lucky. I just happened to be mixing with the right people and be in the right place at the right time. And luckily, this music is my legacy. I live it. That beat sound is just, it's got a life of its own, a life force of its own. We've always promised ourselves, and I hope all the ex-members of the band who are in different bands think the same way. Treat it like, your first gig ever and your last gig ever. You go in and you give it everything. And we went out and gave it everything, and at the end of that tour, the Specials came up to us and offered us a 2-tone deal. And that's when I started saying, all right, you need to hold yourself down now, boy. Don't get too excited. You're not a pop star yet or anything, but look, you're going to be the next 2-tone single, and look what's happened to the last 4 or the last 3. They've all gone into the charts, so obviously ours went into the charts very quick, and for that Christmas, you know, I was just like, what's happened? You know, and I never looked back. I tried not to look back, you know, because if you were to look back, I think your head would have been in the clouds. So you just carry on and you work as hard as you can and you try and be truthful. And we felt like we were more people's band. We weren't a Duran Duran. They were out there in big pop star land, living in big mansions and stuff, and that wasn't us, you know, it wasn't our way. And I'm glad it didn't go that way, because in hindsight, if the beat didn't split up in 1984, then I think we would have gone on to have been as big as UB40 or U2 or any of them other bands who stayed around and became massive. We would have been one of them, and we would have been millionaires. It wasn't about that, it was about having fun, and I wanted to see the world and stuff, but I didn't think that I'd see as much as I did see with the beat. You know, I thought, yeah, we'd probably go up and down the country and maybe go to France and that's it, but we went all around the world, you know, so job well done and totally unexpected, and I still give to this day a lot of gratitude for it, you know. As I say, I'm very thankful that it did go that way, yeah. I mean, having the record out, well, it didn't go to number 3 in the charts like the others do, but I was so proud to have that record out up amongst the other beat records. Excuse me. Because it's so close to it, and it's what people want to hear, you know, and if I pull a beat record out, it's going to sound like the beat, and that's what it sounds like. Loved the way it was, you know, received. People loved it. You know, even old members of the beat loved it too. You know, they kind of gave me their thumbs up. So I feel quite proud that I've done something, you know, that I think is just, you know. And at the moment we're working on another one, so that will be out next year. You know, I think people are going to love it just as much. As far as touring it this year, and last year, it's been a trip. You know, we've been on tour with the Selector most of this year, which has been great for both bands. Every time we play London, we do a fantastic show, and you come back the next time and you go, how are you going to beat that, you know? And you go and we mash it up again every time we just leave them and they want more. And we've done it again with the Roundhouse, and I don't know what to say. I'm still speechless about it. I just knew it's something I had to do. I went, I did it, we conquered, and I was just gobsmacked. I haven't been able to say anything since. But that's the biggest indoor gig that the Beat has done ever, you know, in London. And it was absolutely rammed. It sold out quick. And, you know, you've got to give thanks for that. I mean, with the help of the Selector too, don't get me wrong. But both bands deserved it. And people were very happy with, you know, with it. You know, I hear people were singing the tunes as they were walking out and stuff. So that's kind of all that is, you know, it's great, you know. What I've thought about is the next album, because we've had Bounce Out, it's been out now, and people are, you know, they've got used to it and they love it, and people are saying, when's the next one coming out? And they're not expecting another one for 15 years, you know. But I tell you now, it's just around the corner, baby. And it's going to be, I think people will be pleased again, and it's just an ongoing thing, so people will know that we are here to stay. It's not just we did one Beat album and that's Roger's representation of it. It's like, no, that was the first, that was just the start, that was. Now we're coming, and then we're coming again and again.